Hi, Benedict. This is Philip from Switzerland.
Hi, Philip from Switzerland.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You have a lot of fans here. Have you ever been here?
I have been. I sort of frown because, I have been to Switzerland a few times. I love it. It's beautiful. It's an extraordinary country, and I haven't been there enough, is what I'm thinking right now. But thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about the Courier. Let's give a little bit overlook to our audience. So it's based on a true story, and you're one of the producers. And of course, you play the main character, businessman Greville, who was used as a courier by the British and American Secret Services in 1960 to receive Soviet plans for missiles based in Cuba from Oleg, who was a spy. I did not know the exciting story of the two men before. So my question is, how did you approach this subject? Because you're born 14 years after the Cuba crisis.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is my correct age. I was aware of the Cuban crisis. I definitely learned a little bit about that in history, but I had no idea about this particular man and his role in delivering, as you just said in your précis, the crucial information for Kennedy to win his game of chess with Khrushchev as the world held its breath, with the idea of mutually assured destruction hanging over them. And I was just really attracted to the idea of an everyman hero, someone ordinary doing an extraordinary thing, a selfless act born out of friendship and a conviction in something that united both him and Penkovsky to do with the universal idea of protecting your family, and something that transcended nationhood or politics or any other kind of divide. I thought those were very strong, really strong sort of story threads, and an amazing arc to play. A man who is found, trained briefly, and thrown into this at the deep end, who goes from being an amateur to being a professional, and in the end a real hero and trying to save his friend. So Dominic Cook brought me the story. He pitched me the idea of the character and Tom's script. I then read the script. Dominic and I had worked together before, and I was only too keen to get back in front of his camera, having played Richard III for him in the Hollow Crown series and having a great time. And he just put me to the post by finding a project before I did for him. And, it was very, very short turnaround. So I helped to produce it. I said, look, I'd love to augment this. I'd love to be Greville, but I'd like to help with my production company to get this made. We both had a very short window in which to do it. And the whole film turned around very, very quickly. So it was very exciting to have two kind of artistic contributions to make for the movie. And that's kind of what attracted me to it.
You did other films with a historical background, such as The Imitation Game, which I love, 1917, or The Mauritanian. What is it about history that fascinates you?
There are lessons to continually be learned by our history, and we need to completely, we need to continue to examine and question and revise and have a renewed interest in it all the time. There's always echoes and resonances that could teach us about our current situation. I mean, for me, however distant the idea of mutually assured destruction is, the irony is actually there's more nuclear proliferation now across the world. There are more nations that have nuclear capability, obviously, than just the superpowers of Russia and America, but there are more potential problems from that than there were at the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. But beyond that sort of astonishing and sobering fact is the idea that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. We're living through a global pandemic, which is affecting us as a species on this planet. We're living through a global climate crisis, which is affecting us as a species and every species on this planet. And yet ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And it's about everyone finding out when that moment is and having what it takes to step up to the plate. And it can be anything from Greta Thunberg to someone who's cleaning a hospital ward to a doctor at the front line of clinical care on a COVID ward. I think people are showing amazing spirit and selflessness and community-minded heroism, really, in this era. And I think there's an element of that with Greville. Look, I mean, I think that would be resonant, whatever the period, but I think because there is such a, it seemed like a collective moment in the 60s where people really did hold their breath. The streets were silent. Yes, I was born a long time afterwards, but, you know, people who weren't told me about that fear hanging over them, those days, those hours, those minutes as they ticked by. And, you know, I imagine the doomsday clock that Einstein and others started way back when the nuclear era began was, you know, very near midnight then, and it's very near midnight now. So the peril we face is not different. There are many different forms of it, but the acts that individuals can do to bring about some systemic change or make a massive impact, no matter how unempowered or out of control they may feel in these current circumstances. I think there's a message in this film that you can do your bit, you can make a difference, everyone can.
So my time is up, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Benedict.
Very welcome.
To us. I really appreciate. Congratulations to the movie, and I hope I can talk to you soon. All the best for you.
Thank you very much. Lovely to speak to you too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.